Hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to create your Go projects, open them on VS Code, write your code and execute the commands. So I have received quite a number of questions on how do I open my code in VS Code, how do I execute my commands, and questions like that. So that's why I decided to make this video. And yeah, so that's what I will do here. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that using your Explorer, and I'll also show you how to do that using your command line. All right, let me start. So first things first is you probably noticed that I'm on an Ubuntu. So yeah, I moved away from macOS last week. So yeah, they're just very few things that I had to change since Mac and Linux have a lot in common. So I'll start by telling you how I actually go about my own development environments. So I would advise you to have a dedicated folder where you actually put all of your projects, right? Instead of scattering your projects everywhere on your desktop, your documents all around the place, I'd prefer you create a single project, a single folder that that's where you save all of your code or most of them. Okay, so for me, that is the arc. I call it the arc. Yeah, that's what I call it. So this is where I put all of my um, projects. All right, side projects, professional projects, most of it, everything just comes in here. So they're in one place, and as you can see, some of them are separated by language, framework, or topics. Okay, even companies too. You can see Google. So yeah, you start with that. So once you create that, then you can now you know choose whatever pattern you want to arrange your projects. Okay, so that's out of the way. So for me, all of my Go projects, I actually put them inside the Golang folder. Okay, so let's go into the folder, and as you can see, I have some projects here. Obviously, I have not really set up my start.ng's files in here, so that's why you're not seeing it right now, but I'll probably do that after this video. Okay, so yeah, we'll have this ready. So the next step would be to create the specific project that I want to work on. So the first thing that I will generally do is to create the folder where I will put my code. So I'll start by right clicking on this canvas and then selecting the new folder. So I type the name of the folder. Let me call it deck to bin. Then I can hit enter, and my Explorer goes ahead to create the folder for me. So once that is done, the next thing would be to open this folder inside your Visual Studio Code, inside your IDE. Alright, so to do that, you can right click on the folder. Now if you are on Windows, depending if you selected so there is this option that the Visual Studio Code installer would give you when you are installing the software, to ask you whether you want to add open with code on your Explorer options. So if you checked any of those, you should see open with code somewhere. So you should see an option that says open with code, and it should have a tiny Visual Studio Code icon just on the right hand side like this. So once you select that, either on the right or on the left, yeah, I'm not sure. So once you select that, it will go ahead and open it for you inside VS Code. But for those on the Linux, all right, or on a Mac, yeah, I think on a Mac, you should see an option that says open with. So once you select open with, you will see a list of applications that can open your folder. As you can see the files. I don't know why I have duplicate files here, but it doesn't matter. So this is what we are looking for, Visual Studio Code. So I'll go ahead and select that, and voila, yeah, it's opened. So this is step one. Okay, so step two would be to create the files where I want to write my code. Now there are many ways to do this. All right, so you can do this using the file option at the top of your Visual Studio Code. All right, so you can click on new file, all right, or Control N for super users. You can use shortcuts. So if I select new file, there we go, a new file has been created for me. As you can see, it says untitled. Okay, by the way, before I proceed, I need to disable my autosave so that I can demonstrate what I want to show you guys in this video. So let me quickly do that. All right, so now let me start writing my code package. Okay, so notice that VS Code is not giving me any syntax highlighting or any auto completion. So this is because it does not know what I'm doing. To VS Code, I'm simply writing plain text. As you can see down here, plain text. Yeah, just says plain text there. Okay, so to change that, I'll go ahead and save this file as a Go file so that VS Code will recognize it. So to do that, you can either come back to your to your file options and click on save, or you use a shortcut, which I think is the fastest way to do this. So I'm just going to remove that and type Control C. Sorry, not type, like press Control S, and yeah, so it wants me to add the name of my file. So if you're on a Mac, you probably see a drop down from the top of your screen or something like that. On Windows, probably see similar to Linux, where it will ask you to add the name of the file. Okay, so I'll go ahead and call this main.go. Now this .go is very, very important for all your Go files. Any file that does not end with .go is not will not be considered as a Go won't be considered as a runnable Go file, so something like that. So the .go extension is what tells your IDE, is what tells your whoever that views your file that this is a Go file, even on GitHub. So it's very important. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and once I do that, my file has been saved, and as you can see, syntax highlighting is back. So I'm going to continue to do this. So main, now I'm going to call fmain, and as usual, let's print folder hacked. All right, that's just something basic. Okay, now I'm done typing the code I want to type. I cannot just go ahead and run this code. All right, if I do, it's not going to work. Why is that? This is because I have not saved this file. So whenever you're working with a file inside VS Code and you notice this white dot, all right, here, it means that you have not saved this file. So to save this file, you must hit Control S, and now it is saved. So now this file has been saved and updated with the new code that we just wrote. All right. Another thing that you can do to prevent yourself from always having to punch or hit or press a Control S is just to maybe go ahead here and select the file option. Come down to autosave and select that, and then everything we type will be saved for us automatically. So as you can see, the white dot is no longer showing up. This is because as we are typing, VS Code is saving everything immediately. So that's a very, very much convenient thing to do. So I don't want to receive any please my code can't run again when you have not saved your file. Please save your file, okay, before you send me a DM. All right, now the next step would be to show you how to run your code. Okay, so I've shown you how to create your project, I've shown you how to open it inside VS Code, and I've shown you one way of creating your file. Okay, so I'm going to show you another way of creating a file inside VS Code. All right, after that, then I'll show you how to run the code. Now, the second and probably the most convenient way to create a file would be to use your Explorer. All right, Your Explorer could be on the left hand side of your screen. Okay, I modified my Visual Studio Code to put my Explorer on the right. Alright, so if you want to do that, Google it. See somewhere online where they'll tell you how to do it. Okay, now to create a file using the Explorer, you can just come here. You see these four icons. The first one is for creating a new file. The second one is for creating a folder. We don't want to create a folder, we want to create a file. So we'll go ahead and click on new file. And there we go, have a prompt. So let's type the name of the file. We're going to call it deck to bin. And there we go. Alright, we have our, and then we hit enter. And yeah, we have our file all created and ready for us to write some code in it. So I'm going to go ahead and write a function in here, deck to bin. Okay, so there we go, and we have a file. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, the file is automatically saved by VS Code, so I don't need to save it myself. So I think that covers this part of the video course. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly write something in here. Var number int fmt dot scan. So quickly write. So you already seen this program, so that's for those that did the assignment. Scanning the number, and then go ahead and print f send b. So this is a very watered down code. So yeah, so you can see we have our program all set and ready, and everything was saved automatically. So as you can see, I had to hit Ctrl S so that this will get imported automatically. Okay, so that was what happened here, right? If I didn't hit Ctrl S, my Go tools would not automatically import the needed FMT package. Okay, so I think this is actually the part of the reason why I didn't want to enable automatic save, so that I have to, once I cultivate the habit of always saving my files whenever I'm done, I will always get the benefits of automatic import. So I'm just going to turn off my autosave. Okay, so feel free to leave it on, but just once you are done typing, just hit Ctrl S and the packages will be automatically imported. Alright, okay, now moving on to the next thing, how would you execute your code? Alright, so I'll start by opening my terminal. So in Windows it's called command prompt. So the very easy and straightforward way to do this, if you didn't pin it here, alright, because I pinned the most important applications that I use in my day-to-day work down here, so I can easily just click on them and then, you know, just very easy access. So I'm going to type, if you're on Windows, type cmd, alright, and if you're on Linux, the same thing. If you're on a Mac, you should use item. So once you type item 2, you should see your, or terminal, type terminal 2, it should show up. I don't know if CMD will work for a Mac, but just try it. Right, you see an icon that looks like this. That's your command prompt on your terminal. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. So I'm going to make this big, zoom in. Alright, now to run my code, I need to do go run. What's the name of my file? main.go. Oops, there's an error. main.go, no such file or directory. Now this is expected. Alright, Go tried to run this file, but it could not find it. It could not. And this is because our main.go is inside a different folder. Alright, so there are two ways that you could solve this. Two ways that I know of that you can solve this error. The first one would be to come over to your Visual Studio Code and copy the file paths. So once you right click on the file, it will bring this option. So select copy path and then go back to your command line and then type go run, go ahead and paste that, and yeah, so this is the file path. So go will now travel through all of this folder and then should be able to locate my file. So let's run it again, and there we go, folder hacked. We're able to find that. So another way to solve this is by navigating to the folder where your code lives, and for me that is in my deck to bin folder. All right, and as you can see, this is the file path to my folder. All right, but okay, let me just do it one after the other, so maybe hopefully to be clearer like that. So I'll start by checking the current folder I am in. You use the pwd command, works the same as on Windows and on Mac. So I hit enter, and here I am, home host like Timolin. Okay, so that means I am here, right here. So I need to get here, here, and then here. All right, so to check if you want to list out all the folders that are in the current directory where you are in, you use the ls command. Right, so the ls command does not work for Windows. So if you're in Windows, just do dir. Okay, so dir should like print out all the, okay, it even works for Linux too. So it will print out all of the folders inside your current folder. All right, so I'll go back to using the ls command, and there we go, have a list of all our folders. So remember when I showed you where my code lives in, I know I need to get to the arc. So what do? I use the cd command. So the cd means change directory. So I want to change from the current directory to the arc. So I just type arc. All right. Now, if the arc was located somewhere within another folder, I must type that folder first before typing the arc. Okay. So I don't want people going on to just come into their console and type in cd whatever folder they know and think that the console won't magically locate this file. You have to give it the absolute path. All right, just like I did here. I have to give it the absolute path, and what I mean by that is you have to type out every single folder that it has to go through to get to where you're going to. That's the absolute path. All right, so let me start with changing to the arc. So yeah, now we're inside the arc. So I know that the next folder is the Golang folder. I use the cd, then type g. So now there's a trick that I use when I'm navigating through folders. Okay, so once you type the first letter, you hit the tab, so the tab key just above your cap lock. Hit the tab key, and okay, so it's saying if he hit the tab key, if it doesn't come out, hit it again, and then you could see options. So there's a clash between Golang and Google because they both start from Go. So if you want to select one of them, you go ahead and hit the tab key again, and then once it selects the one you like, you hit enter and then hit enter again, and yes, you're inside Golang. Okay, so if you want to go back to the previous folder, you use cd dot dot. So you need to take you back one folder level back. That's what this will do. Okay, so the dots, one dot means current folder, two dots means previous folder. So I'm going to go ahead and execute this, and I'll also clear my screen. If you're wondering how I did that, you can just run the clear command, or you can use the control plus L, just control L, and it will clear screen for you. Okay, so now let me go back to Golang. So I want to show you something. Hit the tab button, and then I'm going to deck to bin, so I type D, I hit tab, and there we go. Hit enter, and then there we are inside our project root. So I'm just going to hit the ls again to see the files that I have here, and as you can see, deck to bin.go and main.go. Yeah, all right. So remember, if you're on Windows, just do dir, and same thing should show up. Now we can now run our code because it's now located inside this folder where our terminal is. Alright, so I can do go run main.go. Okay, I hit enter and there we go, folder hacked. Our code is working. So yeah, I think that's that with all that. So if you want to create a new file from your console, you can use the touch command. I think this works for Windows, I'm not sure, maybe you should try it out. If it doesn't work, you can send me a message. So use the touch command and then say let's just find a regular file name that we can still get rid of. So we can say new.go, hit enter, and if you check your IDE, you should see that new.go has been created for us. So that's what a touch command does. If you want to create a folder, you can use the make there, which let's call this new F. I'll just say new folder. Now hit enter, and if you check here, yep, our folder has been created. Okay, so if you want to remove those files because we don't need them, you can use the rm command. So rm new.go, that will get rid of new.go. As you can see, it's gone. If you want to remove a folder, you must put the -r. Okay, if you want to put the -r and then hit enter, and the folder too has been removed. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I think one more thing. Let me show you how to open your projects from the command line for those that want to. So I'll just go ahead and close this out, and yeah, so if you want to open a folder with VS Code through your command line, we use the code command. Okay, so code, you can say code dot, and that will open the current directory. All right, open the current directory, and yeah, open the current directory, just that. So once you hit enter, there we go, it opens our project for us. So I'm going to close this again, and another way you can do this, let's go back. You can say code deck to bin. All right, so code, type the name of the folder or the path to where the folder is located, and hit enter, and the same thing works. So another very easy way to do this could be if you come to your pinned Visual Studio Code icon, you can right click on it. All right, so you can select a new empty window or a new window and stuff. So let me show you something. So let me select a new empty window, and it opens a window that does not contain anything. There's nothing here. All right, so but I want to open my project in here. That's the folder where my project lives. Okay, so I can come here and click on the open folder button and select the folder that I want to open, which in my case is deck to bin. Depends on where your own is located. You can visit any of these places and to define one. So let me go back to recent, and I want to open my deck to bin, so I'm going to select that, hit OK, and same thing, same result. My folder opened and looks great. So yeah, I think that's about it. So hopefully this clears the ground for every other person that is still confused. If you still have any question, please reach out to me, and I'll be glad to answer. All right, have a happy coding.